All right, for this last section of notes, I thought we'd change things up a little bit and add some style here, especially since we're talking about vegetables, and vegetables make a great addition to any sandwich, so I have my hamburger hat on for you. But let's talk a little bit about buying vegetables. Okay, so this next section right here, you're not filling out on your notes, but I do need you to listen to it. Always inspect your veggies carefully, just like anything else we've talked about. There shouldn't be any stains. There shouldn't be any unpleasant odors. Nothing should be wilted or shriveled. And I know, again, vegetables kind of look weird sometimes, and they kind of have weird smells. But anything that just you're unsure of, you shouldn't buy that. Always buy by weight. Vegetables generally feel heavy for their size, except for like your leafy greens. Buy only what you can use in about a week. Potatoes, onions, garlic, those things you typically can keep for quite a while. But the rest of the vegetables are going to go bad in about a week. Most leafy greens are going to cook down quite significantly from their original volume. So like a half a pound of spinach or like collard greens, mustard greens will cook all the way down to a half a cup. So account for that when you buy them. And the final thing, this is on your notes. This is actually number 20. Two reasons that you should buy vegetables in season is that they are cheaper and they will taste better. Okay, some things, potatoes you can find all year, onions you can find all year, but peppers go in and out of season, corn goes in and out of season, green beans go in and out of season, and you'll see a significant difference in the price out of season, as well as the taste. Okay, all right, let's talk about storing. Potatoes, sweet potatoes, onions, garlic, those go in a cool, dark, dry place. This is 21. Pantry, cabinet, cool, dark, dry place. Never in the refrigerator. Okay, so for 21, why shouldn't you do that? Because they will actually mold or decay faster in the fridge. If you're interested in this topic, you can even do a little research. There's been some research done about onions. And after you cut an onion, you would have to put it in the fridge. But they have decided that onions actually breed bacteria very quickly and actually attract bacteria very quickly. In fact, some people even cut an onion and put it next to their bedside when they have a cold, saying that it will attract the germs and bacteria and help you heal faster. So kind of interesting if you're interested in looking that up. All other vegetables for 22 should go in the crisper in your fridge. And the crisper is that special drawer meant for vegetables where you can adjust the moisture content. Helps them to last that week that you should get out of them, sometimes even a little longer. And some people put them in a paper bag before doing that to help protect them from odors and moisture in the fridge as well. All right, if they are cut, obviously wrap them tightly, put them in the fridge. You don't want things like your eggs picking up the odors of veggies. All right, couple steps for cooking with vegetables. We'll go pretty quick here. For number 23, 4 basic steps for prepping them. No matter what you're doing, you always wash them. And if they come in a bag that says they are pre-washed, wash them anyway. You do not know where they have been or how well they were sanitized. Never soak your veggies when you wash them, though, because soaking them will cause them to lose some of their nutrients. Peel them if necessary, for instance, potatoes. Seed them if necessary, like taking the seeds out of peppers. Sometimes you take the seeds out of tomatoes, and then cut to whatever your desired shape is for your recipe. So again, the last 3, peel, seed, and cut, is going to depend on what you're making. What changes take place when veggies are cooked? For number 24. The first thing, the texture softens. So you can just write texture - softens. That works fine. The structure breaks down. So again, right, structure breaks down. So you understand what happens. Let me explain that a little bit. When I talked about cellulose earlier and about how when you cook it, you lose it. Cellulose is kind of like the steel beams of a building when we look at vegetables. It's what gives it its structure and holds it in that good, firm, raw shape that you kind of get the crispiness, the crunchiness. When you cook things, they soften. That also means the cellulose is breaking down. So the more a veggie is cooked, the less fiber it's going to have. Color changes. If you think about broccoli, think about how it's kind of a faded green, and it gets that bright Kelly green when you steam it. Flavor is enhanced, which is why you typically saute onions and garlic before adding it to a recipe. Now, real quick note here, if you use a lot of water for your veggies, it will dilute the flavor instead of enhance it typically. And nutrients are lost. We talked in the fruit chapter. Anytime you expose food to air, water, or heat, you're going to lose some nutrients. Okay, 25, we are almost there. Why does it matter how much water you use when cooking? The main reason is because your B and C vitamins will dissolve in water. If you ever cook broccoli and watch the water turn green, you're losing some of your nutrients right there. Okay, now there's other reasons, such as you don't want to lose some of the flavor, you don't want to make your veggies too mushy, which can happen when you use too much water, but the main reason is you don't want to lose their nutrients. All right, now there is a quick note on your screen that says strong flavored veggies. Sometimes you do use a little more water to get rid of some of that really strong flavor, but that's just kind of a vegetable by vegetable basis. All right, final question you have on that front page. We just talked about this. 26, how much water should you use when cooking veggies? Just a small amount. Okay, I went over that pretty clearly, I think. 27, how do you avoid nutrient loss when cooking vegetables? And the way you do that is cook them to what's called crisp tender or fork tender. That is an official cooking term. It's just what it sounds like. You can take a fork and stick it in the veggie, and it's still firm, but it's a little bit softer than it was. Okay, you don't want it really crunchy still, but you don't want it mushy. What happens if you overcook veggies? For 28, 4 things. You lose that bright color. Broccoli is a great example. It goes from that faded green before cooking to that bright Kelly green when cooking, and then it goes to like just this off color green. I'm not talking burnt. I'm talking you'll see it go to like an off color green. Unpleasant flavor, not just a burnt flavor. They can get more bitter, lose texture, and lose shape. Those last two kind of go together, but you'll see them break down because you're losing too much cellulose. Cooking methods for 29. The 2 best methods are steaming and microwaving. Just because of what we talked about, you're not going to have so much water that you lose all of the nutrients. Think back to the fruit chapter, those first couple chapters where I showed you the steamer and how you would sit the veggies in that steamer in the pan and put a little bit of water underneath and put the lid on. And what that does is it creates steam in there to cook those veggies, but you're not submerging them in water, which would suck out their vitamins. Good methods are baking and simmering. Again, you don't typically need a lot of fat when you bake them, okay, because roasting them in the oven really enhances their flavor. Simmering, even though you're cooking them in a lot of water, the reason that's still okay is because it's not boiling. If you're at a higher boiling level of heat, you're going to suck out more nutrients. Simmering's a little bit lower of a heat level. And lastly, what's bad? We know frying's bad. I know it adds a lot of flavor. Fried mushrooms are awesome, but it does add a lot of fat and calories. Okay, your very last thing on there is what's your favorite vegetable? Go ahead and think about that and fill it in. And that's it for veggies.